Hi, Mark Rogers here of Around the Neighborhood in Retirement. It's another issue of where we're bringing out topics that are hot in retirement. Today, we're bringing up Social Security. And if whatever age you are, you want to listen in to see if what Social Security is going to do for you. And we're also sitting here on Life Insurance Awareness Month. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'll bring out the old white pad from there and we're going to chat through how Social Security and actually life insurance actually correspond. We'll see you in a little. Well, good morning. Mark Rogers here. It is September, and it's good to see everybody. We are brand new into the month here. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. And I'm just catching up myself. Took the family down to the beach, and so we're just doing some catch up over the weekend here. Of course, there's always work to be done outside in the yard. And so, anyway, with that all said, it is feeling like fall. I hope it's feeling like fall for you as well. Hot in the day, and then certainly cooling down at night as well. But for today, we have got a couple topics up on board. You know, this whole around the neighborhood thing in retirement is all about dispelling the myths that are out there. And what I mean by that is there's old men down at the McDonald's having coffee in the morning, and they're sitting there just having a good old time. You know, they're just sitting there chatting things up along the way, and some things are true and some things are not true, right? In terms of what they're talking about there in the McDonald's in retirement. And then there's people down at maybe they're out there fishing, maybe they're down at the salon. A lot of myths that are going on, and we want to make sure and bring in the news, kind of digest it, and then of course you know me, I like to bring the whiteboard into the picture and to illustrate a little bit about why some things are true and how they might not be true from there. So with that, let me talk about a little bit about what we talk about. We talk about Social Security planning. We are bringing up on deck today a piece on Social Security. And if you're whatever age you are, you're going to want to take a look at that because Social Security means differently no matter who we are. It's going to bring a little bit different for that. Medicare changes. We've got a hot lineup in Medicare coming up here in September. And so we are going to be talking more about Medicare along the way. Changes are always at you, and we want to make sure you know what changes there might be and also some tips. I'm all about giving the tips. And then long-term care planning, oh man, there's, we got some stuff coming in November. It's Long-Term Care Awareness Month in November, but in the meantime, I've got some interesting things to share on that. Income planning and retirement, it's all about building the income plan, making sure that you have an income plan you can work off of in retirement. Income taxes, yeah, income taxes are going up. Yes, indeed, income taxes are going up. January 2026 of all things, right? So there's more to come on that. So, and if you have policy questions along the way, certainly throw them in the chat. We'll try to monitor the chat as we go along. And Medicare policy questions could be long-term care questions, bringing in life insurance questions, Life Insurance Awareness Month. We want to make sure and bring those things in along the way. Annuity policy questions. It's a hot topic. I had just this last week. A client of mine that is over on the long-term care side had a whole hat full of annuities from somebody else, which is fine, and they've been very happy, but it's time to review. After 10, 12, 14 years in these annuities, it was time to review. And doing the review, we found out there was some tremendous things you can do with today's annuities that they had no knowledge of on that. And then we have supplemental health policy questions. We could talk more about that in time to come. But before we proceed any further, it looks like my assistant has Claudia. Let's see if she's up on deck here with us. Well, good morning.
Well, good morning. How are you today?
Good. Yes, indeed. Bright and morning. It's you have a good weekend. I mean, you get caught up with everything.
You know,
Yeah.
it was an interesting weekend, that's for sure. But I'm glad we had a little bit more time, and the kids are back in school today, and so my nieces and nephews, and we had to do some shopping,
Yeah, it's
back to school shopping.
back to school shopping. It's one of those rights that you have this time of year. So and
Yes.
the retailers are giving it to you too. They got the deals for
Yes.
you.
Yes. My niece was having a little bit of difficulty finding clothing for tweens. I didn't know
Okay.
there was such a thing, but I guess it is.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting older when we don't know these things, right?
Right. But you got to stay in the game, right?
Got to stay in the game. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes.
So,
So
well,
I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited for the topics you have going on today, and can't hardly wait to listen what you've got to say.
yeah, let's talk about Social Security. So, all righty. So what we're going to do here, Claudia, I'm going to share a screen. I came across something interesting here that I wanted to share a screen. Let me share my screen here. This is about Social Security. And so, let's see here. So it's a little busy there. Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit here. This is, if you're, no matter what age you are, it's good to see, will Social Security be there for me? Talking points for the generations. So no matter what age you are, it's time to look at Social Security and say, what's it going to do based upon what age I am, right?
Yes.
So how secure is Social Security? Views about the reliability of Social Security vary among different generations of clients. Here's some approaches to talk with clients. All right, so let's jump into, well, I guess you got to get into the members' content here. Or maybe I just didn't do this right. I didn't get this all set up here. All righty, so is it not gonna do it? Well, in that something here, I had it. Let's see if this works. There we are. There you are. Here we go. How secure is Social Security? It wasn't until the oldest boomers started turning 62 in 2008 that anyone even talked about Social Security as a potential source of income in retirement. Prior to then, everyone just assumed the math didn't work and that we'd have to rely on our own savings to get us through retirement. When boomers, remember today, Claudia, today is, this year is the number one highest year of people turning 65. So this is impacting Social Security. When boomers started collecting benefits beginning in 2008, proving that the Social Security system was alive and well and paying benefits after all, the media hopped on it, and now everyone you turn to sees articles on Social Security. So Social Security is let me get on down here to the folks. If you are age 70 plus, let's talk about you, the older boomers and the silents, age 70 and plus. Clients who have had a healthy skepticism about Social Security during the working years probably accumulated a rather sizable pile of retirement assets. Now they're enjoying the Social Security income they never thought they'd have, and they may be worried it'll be taken away. This can actually lead to understanding to the point that they are afraid to enjoy the fruits of their labors. While you never know for sure how Congress will deal with Social Security, a recurring theme you'll see below, if the worst thing that happens and the benefits are cut by 17% in 2035, they can probably deal with this. It would be roughly the same as missing out on a cost of living adjustment. So these folks that are over 70 may not be impacted much, because certainly we're going to see here 2035, I understand it's 2037, the Social Security Trust is going to be having difficulties a little bit further out. Let's talk about the next generation, Generation X and baby boomers, age 55 to 69. This is the group most worried about Social Security, and rightly so. You worried about Social Security there, Claudia?
Yeah, I am a little bit. Yeah, and I was just taking out my calculator and see what's going on here.
Well, and I'll get off the whiteboard in just a second here. After I get off this, I'll show a little bit about what planning should look like with Social Security. But so these folks that you're 55 to 60, I'm just a hair under that, so you're in that group. They've been counting on a certain percentage of their retirement income coming from Social Security, anywhere from 20% to as much as 80%. So they may have calibrated their spending and saving patterns accordingly. The prospect of receiving as much as 20% less than they're counting on is concerning. They don't have a lot of time to boost their savings. The biggest risk with this group is that they'll do the paradoxical thing of claiming early, thus locking in a permanent reduction instead of maximizing their benefits by claiming later. Again, it's not likely that Congress would jeopardize benefits for people on the brink of retirement, but if they really are worried, they should save more and claim later. All right. So I'm just going to stop the share there for right now and talk a little bit about, of course, we're going to get the old whiteboard out here, right? You got to get the whiteboard teed up here, see if this thing works here. Let's look at, I'm going to look at, and I did not have a slide on this setup, but I want to get this over here. Let's see here. Okay, present, and then we're going to present. I have an idea here. I wanted to present a share screen, and I'm going to share this one right here. All right. So so let's look at our picture here. All right. All right. So it's often said that, sorry if I'm not, you see my screen going on here. There's retirement has what they call a three-legged stool. Okay. You hear me all right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, three-legged stool. This is in retirement, and this is really sources of income. Okay, sources of income. So one of these would be a pension, guaranteed income pension, right? And then another one would be savings.
Yes.
And another one is going to be Social Security. Okay. Well, the problem is along the way is that we don't have pensions anymore. So there's one of the stools gone, one of the legs of the three-legged stool gone. Okay. So now we're relying upon our Social Security and we're relying upon our savings. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is historically what people have done. These older folks, they come in with pensions, and so they haven't had to rely upon their Social Security as much because they have a pension and or they have some savings. Well, now over here on the savings side of things, we have a lot of our savings is associated with 401ks, IRAs, and we've talked about this in times past, as Congress is making changes to that.
Yes.
And so that's a problem.
That is.
And so now we have Social Security in 2020, they say in 2020,
34 to 35.
I think it's somewhere up in here that we're anticipating a reduction of Social Security.
Yes.
Okay. So this is why it's absolutely critical to plan for income in retirement, given the fact that we're not rolling out with pension, because as you know, Claudia, what we end up doing in some of the planning we do is we sit there and go, okay, actually we erase that. Actually what we're doing is we're setting up, and what's so valuable about pension income is you cannot outlast it. So we actually set up a personal pension over here. And so this is a beautiful thing where we take some of the savings and create a personal pension that you cannot outlive.
Yeah.
Cannot outlive.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
I know. Many people didn't. And I just got down to the presentation where we had a bunch of old annuities, and they're all old 401k.
Yes.
And given right now, the insurance companies are offering tremendous rates on building that pension piece. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
And so here's let me just give you give you a thought here. So here's what's happening right here is if Social Security, let's just say Social Security keeps going up, right? At some point, if the government takes a 30% drop, right? If they're estimating a 30% drop, how's that going to mean if our health, or if our normal living expenses, right? Our normal living expenses are going up, right? So these are our monthly living expenses. How's that going to work if our Social Security gets dropped, right?
Not very well.
I know. So now we've got a bigger drop. It's like, oh my goodness, I just had my Social Security. Again, we're looking 10, 15 years down the road, but for new retirees, are we preparing for a Social Security drop? Are we really preparing for that? Okay. So that's where along the lines is people say, well, what are you doing about it, Mark? Well, what we do about it is behind the scenes, we're putting a personal pension in place, and it's growing. It's got guaranteed growth going on here. And basically the idea is to trigger it and kick it on into income when that happens, or it could be before, it could be after. I don't care when it happens, but it's going to add additional income in the future. But we have got to start understanding, how do we start building that pension bucket again by doing it privately. So we have, instead of how compute losses, now we got our own personal pension income annuity going along the way, taking up that slack.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good strategy. I really like that a lot.
So that's, it's just preparing ahead, right? And so many people are not preparing ahead, and so they're losing out on this. They don't have this pension from work anymore. It's not available or whatever.
No.
But the good news is if you think ahead, you can create your own personal pension, doing it a little bit from your savings, and creating that pension that's guaranteed income that you will not outlast.
So would you convert some of that 401k or the IRA into that growth, guaranteed growth?
It's a transfer. It's a transfer from off of Wall Street over to an insurance company, and an insurance company is making the guarantees to say that they're going to provide this guaranteed growth that's going on, and they're going to provide this guaranteed income out here, particularly. Yeah. So there's two phases of it, and they want to provide that they will provide that guaranteed income, monthly income coming in every month, future down the road, and that's a powerful play when Social Security does eventually drop.
Wow, that's very, very good. So, I'm glad there is an option.
Well, but it's a matter of, telling our neighbors.
Yes.
Telling our neighbors about what's going on, right? And so that's the challenge, is how do you tell the neighbors about this opportunity to build your own personal pension along the way, and prepare for that down the road. So
yes, and that's why you are here educating everybody, right? Because I didn't hear about this anywhere else.
Yep. It's little known things that are going on. So
yeah.
All right, let's jump over to All righty. Well, Claudia, it is Life Insurance Awareness Month, September here.
Yes, we're in September already.
Yeah, we are in September, and so this is every year in September. There's major organizations that dedicate this month to educating, again, financial literacy. And that's one of the things, Claudia, I just was on another thing, is what we do here around the neighborhood in retirement is it's all about financial literacy. We want to have that financial literacy to go on. And so let's talk about this Life Insurance Awareness Month factor. And there's a couple slides I thought that was interesting in here. And it's basically nearly half of U.S. consumers say they would face financial hardship within 6 months should the primary wage earner die unexpectedly. So 50% of people realize there's a problem if their primary wage earner goes down.
Yes.
Another one is almost 6 out of 10 workers with children under age of 18 count on their workplace life insurance coverage to protect their loved ones. And one of the things is I've run into so many people that they just say, "Oh, I got it at work." They have no clue at work. They have no clue how much it is. Generally, at work, it's only 1 year's worth of salary, and ask ourselves, well, how long will that get us through? And number two is if the employer is paying any amount of it, let's say it's $100,000 death benefit, and they're paying, the employer is paying for some of the premiums, that means it's going to be a taxable event. And now instead of getting 100,000, maybe you're only getting 80,000 because the income taxes had to be taken out. So don't rely specifically on the work coverage, because it may be taxable, and it's certainly not enough. I thought this was interesting, Claudia, too. Here, a majority of American adults say they own some type of life insurance, and you can see there's a timeline there. It's a downward trending timeline, and so now we have now we only have a 50. I think it's 50%.
51.
I think that's what the slide is saying. I can't read it all the way through. That we now have 50-50 that when it comes to adults, no life insurance at all, 50%. So it's quite a solemn thing. It's going to create that thing. Lastly, too, life insurance is a woman's issue. You like that?
Yes. I was just thinking, it's a woman's issue. Okay.
It is.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and it's a woman's issue from a couple different ideas, and that is typically, the guy is the breadwinner, if you will, goes back to what he's saying, and so he might be making more or whatever, and there's no idea that the husband has any life insurance, or if so, he's got only a little bit, right? So the woman should really be looking at this, going, okay, what's he got? Because if he goes down, how are we all sitting here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you and I both seen this here, where it's a GoFundMe thing all of a sudden.
Yes.
So it's a sad thing. And then it's also an issue too in retirement. It is a problem where someone is, let me just kind of go through this and share this. Retirement life insurance is also an issue, because let me just stop. Let me present here. I'm going to present I'm going to stop screen. I'm going to share another thing here where what happens, and this is what happens here, going back to our notepad here, is the couple is sitting here. Here's the couple merrily going on, and their income goes up, right? Income's going up. Let's assume their healthcare, their living expenses are right there. Well, the problem is somewhere on the right, Mr. passes away, and now the income drops. You know why it's dropping?
Well, why?
We lose the Social Security. We lose one of the Social Securities, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we also lose a tax deduction. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the while, we generally maintain the current expenses, right? So
Yes.
instead of 100% of the expenses that when he's living, it might be 90%, right?
Yes.
It might be 80%. It's not dropping. The expenses are not dropping commensurate with what the income drop is, right?
Correct.
And so what's happening is now the widow, I'll use the word widow here, it's a woman's issue, this is a serious income drop that has just happened, right?
Yes.
And so this is where now to have a life insurance plan, let's just say it's $100K. Let's say it's $250, whatever that number is. This is where having an extra $100K, $200,000, okay?
Yeah.
That becomes a big deal, because this is all tax-free that's coming in. And now this is going to help that widow for the rest of her life. But to have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on her husband is a big deal, because of the fact we're losing Social Security, we're losing a tax deduction, and we still need to keep things maintained. So there's my little thing. This is called an income cliff. Okay, income cliff. It's when one spouse passes. Generally, the husband, because the guys go quicker, they go faster. When one spouse passes, that income drops. Having life insurance to buffer that to keep the widow going is a big deal.
Very big deal. Yes.
So
because then she's forced to make all sorts of rash decisions.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what happens, Claudia, is all these rash decisions are coming in at that point. So anyway, so let's go back to I got one little video shot here of life insurance awareness. This is kind of a fun one here. And so let me see if I can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and present this little idea. I grabbed this off of YouTube here. They're just talking with strangers about life insurance. I thought this was very interesting. So I think we should be able to hear it.
Today and asking people what they know about life insurance.
Listen, I just need to know what I'm getting myself into, that's all.
True or false? Crowdfunding is the best way to help financially after the loss of a loved one.
That's a tough question. I'm gonna go with true.
No, God, please. Have you heard of life insurance?
That was a trick question.
Okay, let's go. Crowdfunding is the best way to help financially after the loss of a loved one.
I don't think it is.
True or false? Life insurance coverage should be 10 to 15 times your annual salary.
What do you think, Jalen?
I think it might be true. I don't know.
True? I'll go. Go true.
Life insurance coverage should be 10 to 15 times your annual salary.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm retired, so you don't want to use my salary. Okay. 10 to 15 times. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
True.
10 to 15 times your annual salary? True.
10 to 15 times your annual salary. I'm gonna say false.
We'll say true. True it is.
Life insurance coverage should be 10 to 15 times your annual salary.
True. Ooh. 10 to 15?
Yeah, Leandro.
Let's do it.
True. That's a good amount of money. I want to say true, but I have a feeling it's false. Let's go. Just go with true.
Okay.
True.
True? Okay.
All right, next question. True or false? Life insurance is only useful after you die.
False.
False.
I want to say false.
False.
Yeah. Answer?
Oh, it's false.
False. Life insurance is only useful after you die. True or false?
False.
I'm gonna say false.
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 Life insurance is only useful after you die.
False.
True.
False.
True.
False.
Why false?
I don't know, actually. I don't know why I say false.
Why is it false? It just sounded like the right answer.
Can you tell me why?
You can take money out of your policy or borrow against your policy.
If you have life insurance through work, that's probably enough coverage.
No.
False.
Oh, no. No.
False.
No, false. That's definitely false.
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 True or false? If you have life insurance through work, that's probably enough coverage.
Hell no.
False.
Can you tell me why? Why false? Why false? Why false? Why is it false?
Because you can't put all of your apples in one basket.
Having more is better for your family as a whole.
Because it's supplemental coverage. You need something outside of your job.
True or false? You can name a charity as your life insurance beneficiary, which means they would get the payout when you die. Yes?
True. That is true.
I want to say yes.
True.
Yes, I believe you can.
False.
True or false? You can name a charity as your life insurance beneficiary, which means they get the payout when you die.
Yeah.
haven't heard about that, but I want to hope it's true. So I'm gonna say true. Okay, true.
Oh, that's true.
I have never heard that before. That doesn't make it false. I'm gonna say true.
True.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
True.
You can name a charity as your life insurance beneficiary.
Ooh, yeah.
That's true.
I didn't know that, but that is cool.
Your life insurance rate will be the same no matter how old you are.
Hold on a second.
So if you bought it at 20, it would cost the same as if you bought it at 50.
That's false. That's false. It's going to change drastically.
False.
I'm going false.
False, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
False.
Your life insurance rate will be the same no matter how old you are.
That is going to be false.
False.
Sounds false. Oh, that's a tough one. I'll go with false.
False.
Why false? Why false? Why false?
Because it's based off your age and your health.
I think it depends on the policy you choose, and it also has something to do with your age.
Correct. Get it while you're young. Get it while you're healthy.
I thought that if you had like health issues, that can change it. So your rate can vary.
Thank you so much for playing. That was wonderful. Great job, you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, like I don't know.
How about that, Claudia?
So I lost my husband. I was
That was very entertaining, in the least, but you can see not too many people know and understand life insurance. I think they said the reason why that they want life insurance, I think a lot of it because they or that life insurance is only good after death.
Right.
And they said false because it's called life insurance.
Got it. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
see.
that's what it was.
I see what you're saying.
Because when they were asked why do you think that, they said, "Oh, I don't know. I just feel like it's a good answer."
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and to talk about that, the idea is there's living benefits there that many don't
Yes.
understand, and so
Correct.
we'll talk more about this. But basically, the idea of pulling out of the policy, there's ways to even pull out of term policies for
Yeah.
cancer, stroke, heart attack, even chronic illness, long-term care. These are things that can be done now out of some of these term policies coming up now, and they certainly are done out of the permanent policies. So, big deal there on the living benefits.
Yes.
That's the living
And I'm glad
benefits.
they're doing this. They're doing this life insurance awareness month because they're attempting to demystify life insurance and encourage people to have a planning for the future.
Right. Yeah. So if people have questions about their own life insurance policy,
Yeah.
why, I do have up on the screen a 20-minute review. Happy to deal with anybody because in 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes phone call, we can quickly find out what you have, what you don't have. And there's some powerful stuff that's out there now that is very affordable. And I think, Claudia, what we would say together is that our number one job is to help educate to keep people from losing their retirement savings
Yes.
due to a healthcare situation. And that healthcare situation can be a situation where a young person goes through cancer and they're reaching in and they're grabbing their 401k to help pay for living expenses. Had they had a life insurance policy in place or a cancer policy or something like that, but life insurance, you could be pulling some of that off, that death benefit off, to keep things sustained and leave the retirement accounts alone or not as tampered with, right? So,
Yes, and also having these reviews is on existing policies. It's and discussing the importance of adequate coverage is very important at this time, and it's a good time. Why not?
yeah. So we'll be loading up over on the web page. I'll have some. I'm actually having a quoter that's getting put up there on the thing, so you can actually quote your own policies here in a little bit. It's available. It's brand new technology that allows people to go on to my website, hit the click the thing, type in some information. You actually get your own information for yourself. Powerful thing.
Yes, and you also talked about that score,
Yep. Retirement score.
retirement score. Yeah.
Yep. What happens? How's your retirement score? What happens when one spouse passes away? how does that affect your retirement score? And that's a big thing. We'll be talking more about that as well. So, so that's about it for today. We talked about life insurance, using it with Social Security. We talked about life insurance happening and what happens when you lose a spouse, and what happens for life insurance to come and backfill that surviving spouse, tax-free in the environment of rising income taxes. Having tax-free income is a big deal. So you want to jump over there and look at that. So markscalendar.com, www.markscalendar.com. Jump over there for a 20-minute calendar thing. I'll be happy to chat with you personally in the privacy on a phone call or something like that, and we can go from there. So with that, anything else, Cloudy, before we jump off and get rolling into this first week of September?
No, but I'm excited about it, and I think there's a lot to be covered here this month.
Life Insurance Awareness Month. Life
Yes.
insurance, more coming out. So very
All
good.
right.
All righty. Well, very good then. I will be seeing you all next Tuesday. Make sure and to like, subscribe for Around the Neighborhood with Mr. Rogers. And so it's always good to see everybody in here, and you can like and subscribe, share with your friends, because it's the fact that it is something that, don't keep me a secret, right? Let's not keep it a secret. So with that, go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you in the next. See you later.